Today's my birthday, and so today I clock a new year. And if you ask me what it feels like being on this extra year, I will tell you that it comes with a whole lot of depression, traumatic experiences, days where I felt I wanted to end it, where I got exhausted with life, got exhausted with purpose. And I still had times when I felt energized, when I felt happy. From every single thing I think so far, especially this year, I would simply say that I've just been learning, surviving and learning. What do I mean by surviving and learning? Initially, life to me was more of the material things. I've not really made much anyway, but I've been at the point when I had over 300 million in my account within the COVID period. I had multiple cars, and it was all through sports betting. In fact, I think I got broke when I left sports betting because I was tired. I was so fed up with the roller coaster. To me, I was strong enough. I saw betting as a game of strategy. So I also know as well that it also works with a pattern. You would never be able to always win. There is no such thing as it's fixed, especially my own kind of betting. That happens to be virtual games, casino. I know for sure it's not something that there is one unique system like that is crackable. It still, to an extent, works with the people playing it because the people who play it affect it just through your stock market has been affected. The amount of bets people place most times affects the system and the algorithm. I understand that some days you'd make a whole lot, which I did. I did make a whole lot. I mean, it's not enough, but I mean, to a billionaire's perspective, but for somebody who hasn't seen like 100 million, making over 300 was enough. Like, and then I quitted. I quitted because people who weren't able to do it, they made me feel ashamed doing it. They made me feel bad doing it. Like, we could have predictions going on and people are winning, right? Everybody's happy. And then something just happened. The system was bad for like maybe the whole of the day because it happens. There's sometimes when predictions will just go so bad, the system is completely messed up. Everything is turned upside down. For people like us, we see these betting systems as with the guides. To the other person who just came in for a quick buck. So the first thing they would ever really do is to rush into calling you names. Seen videos where first when people win, you rarely see them make videos. You hear things like, "Oh, people know me. I don't want to show my face. How do I keep it anonymous?" But once it feels like it goes bad, then somehow nobody's really ashamed to curse you. I think I was weak when I was younger. I was just tired. Tired of being abused. The days my games win, nobody even gives me acknowledgement. The days it loses, see some very horrible labeling, like this in predict game. It goes there, it scripts this game, scripts it, like processes it, picks the best game. But the market was just anyhow today. People were probably using martingale. Everybody wanted to, like, the whole system flipped today. So this implements even our normal pattern recognition, because I use pattern recognition for most of the prediction. So even every single system and data set we have is just powerless because it's what it feels like today. But that today leaves sometimes very long lasting bad reputation when someone buys a prediction and maybe doesn't go well today. And you know why do I feel like this is important on my birthday to state this? It's because I've always been a developer who really loved bringing value. Like, I've always been somebody who, if in a particular place, I love being helpful. I love people around me being able to say amen. Daniel did this. Because of Daniel, we're able to do this. And so when you see people win a whole lot using your software, and you don't see anybody come up to say, Daniel, do this. Like sometimes I'm waiting to see, like, oh, come and tag me and tell me today was back to back. Oh, no more. You just see it on WhatsApp. Oh, I did 150k or 200k, and now it's like close to a million naira. And I'm like, can we post? Someone will say, I don't feel comfortable. So I'm so okay, post, but please let nothing link up to me. Oh. But once it is a day, it gets bad. It was terrible. Anyway, it's not like that now anymore. Back then it was crazy. That was what gave me a bad name on the internet. People will say, oh, I bought that shit, it's a scam. I think that boy is a fraud. And I'm like, so what happens to everybody who has won? It got to me, made a lot of money, and then I exited. Then I went into automation, which is Google AdSense. Actually, it was all my experience being able to do web automation, scripting. I started getting good at it because I would have companies reach out to me personally. Could you automate this? I'm always active on GitHub, like crazy. If you search for Puppeteer, you would see my comment in many repos, issues, like whenever it has to do with web automation, I want to be there. To me, I wanted to build workflow automation as a career. I wanted to be able to be known specifically for automation at the beginning. Like if you're calling people that can make things happen continuously, different scene and event play out while you're at sleep, I wanted to be that guy, right? And so I was on every GitHub project, any repo I'm seeing it, as long as it's open source, it's automation. I don't fuck I'm trying to learn the source code. Obsession was what I would use. So I went through every library, every automation library. I did all form of automations, both bash script automation, app automation, like using Zapier, web automation, like using Playwright, but and so companies will come and call me all the time. Oh, want you to create a bot that will be able to do this, but it should bypass all kind of detection, this. Because the platform we're trying to do this thing on, they don't really like bots, and so we can't lose our accounts. Chess. I'm now beginning to try to see how I can automate this thing in a way it's so good it doesn't get caught and I just get money because I'm still a software developer. So even if I make money from sports betting and little business here and there, I'm still a software developer. So once in a while, it's just something that I feel that's fun to take jobs. I don't take all the time. So if most times people bring jobs and I say I can't do it, I'm busy. But when I can, I just take jobs. But if it's automation, it's a challenge, and I really do love a good challenge in automation. And so that was what it felt like. Then, within the spirit of creating automation, I would be doing testing. It was so good where advertisement platforms couldn't detect it. So people like Google AdSense, when we deploy traffic there, like when we run simulations to websites with Google AdSense, we see lots of hits, lots of innings, and like it doesn't get deducted because the average web automation, when you run it, before you know, you see invalid traffic. Um, Google is telling you your account is on ads limits, the next thing, permanent ban. But when I automate mine, it doesn't get detected. I mean, obviously, something I've been obsessed with, so you won't compare it to what somebody who just started in automation would do. So I knew the things to cover up. And this was when I was also monetized on multiple platforms. And so I'll go started trying it on my own. I made a fortune at the beginning from the whole thing. I use the word at the beginning because for quite a year now, I've not really been that enthusiastic with much of any of these things. So, but while it's it was still hot, I made a course. I made a course from phase 1 to phase 4 where I was teaching people on how to do this. Because I started knowing that, wow, this is actually a big niche. Because at the beginning, it was more of my bots were so good. They bypassed Google detection. I'm even getting paid because they couldn't know it was me, right? So I became that guy who was this good mastermind, could create so many browsers, and these browsers would be automating things in real time. And platforms like Google AdSense couldn't just detect that these people coming right here are not even human beings, because I'm so good with keeping the simulations like very human like. And for the first time, I started seeing people reach out to me, bloggers, YouTubers, and every one of them virtually almost the same thing, right? How was this done? We would want it, but me, I wasn't really ready to start like teaching anybody anything one on one, and I wasn't ready to do it for anybody because most people would be like, "Could you do this for me?" Right? Could you do this for me? And I made a course, thought about it, how to work with Puppeteer, how to set up different browsers, how to turn them with proxies, how to maintain, fingerprints, and I had phase 1 to 4. Little did I know that people don't buy things on the internet because they want to learn it. They buy it because of the lifestyle, they buy it because of the results. Now, most people could be very, very patient to learn what you're teaching and use it for themselves. But most other people are sometimes not able to, right? Some people go through these things, but they don't really just put an action on it. Like they bought it because they felt, oh, this is going to be the next thing, but somewhere in between, maybe procrastination, maybe they don't understand. Like in my own case, I had lots of people who were like, okay, now this is not what I signed up for. You're teaching us how to install VS Code, how to npm, how to do this, that. I don't code. I just want traffic on my website. And so when I made this course, we also had resellers, people who buy them and resell them. And I would see people tell me how they bought this from a third party. And then I started having some videos being taken down. I would remake them, get taken down. I mean, most of those videos, especially the parts that when I start talking about, okay, this is the simulation now running in, and this is how it now works in, you just see it taken down. Community guidelines. So after a point, now said, okay, most of the people who really watched the video couldn't really make anything out of it. And the ones who could make something out of it, watched a part of it, made something out of it, I never heard from them. And then when the videos were taken down, it became a problem of, okay, you know what, this course isn't complete. But trying to make private uploads, because I hosted them on platforms where I used to even feel wouldn't be downloadable. I stopped using YouTube. YouTube was easy to download. YouTube, I first had private links. So when you're on the course, you just get access to the video. Because on YouTube, you can add somebody to watch a video privately. I didn't use Unlisted because you could share the link. Then I still noticed that that one wasn't on. So I moved over to Vimeo. I felt Vimeo couldn't be downloaded. Because I kept the Vimeo on like a closed space. So it could only show on my website. So that means if you share the link, you can't watch it. But you have to be on my website to stream it, right? But all the things I did, I still saw the videos on Telegram. So coupled with the fact that people were still saying, okay, you know what, this thing, it would be easier, all right? Like instead of having us to go through this whole tutorial just because we want to do simulation, maybe you could look at what other guys out there did. Right. So this was when I actually started paying attention to people who do web automation softwares. Because at this point in time, it wasn't really something, it wasn't a case of you have to do this now for fun. It became a serious problem because so many students, people who had signed up for it, they started having bad blood around me, right? Especially the ones who signed up, couldn't implement it. They said, okay, you know what? I want a refund. So why do you want a refund? Because it's too hard for me. Okay, it's too hard for you. So that means if it's easier for you, want a refund. Yes, okay. Some other people, I don't believe it works. Okay. Why do you believe it doesn't work? Have you tried it out? No, I can't try it out. I'm not a developer and I think I want to sign out. And you're like, okay, this is a digital product. You have access to the materials, you've gone through them, haven't you? Yes. So if I have done my own part, what is not the problem? And then when courses were available, then I was now in between the newest people who said, "Oh, I wasn't able to get to the full, class." Anyway, the biggest motivation was the fact that I had to prove something, and so I said I needed to make a desktop app, something people who don't really code would be able to just install, like a one fit all, and they will not be able to run these simulations and do all these things by themselves. So you don't have to go take my full course because you want to run simulations. So what I would simply do is to make sure I patch the software often and routinely kind of, just give updates. Maybe if there's something new you have to do or not do. And so it felt like a very good idea, especially if people will be paying for this on a subscription base. So since most of the target audience are currently people who would be using this for simulations to earn from ads revenue and all that. That looks like a good idea. Now, why this was going on, something I forgot to state. We never had an opportunity to work in a firm like a normal person. Like a normal person that works in a company and actually get paid at the end of the month. That part, we never really had the opportunity. We only worked as developers that could control contracts for specific jobs like within automation or scripting, but didn't really be in that corporate setting. So we didn't really know much. And our whole knowledge has been tech and computer science and all the beautiful things around technology. And so business, industrial psychology, management of human resources, all these things we don't know. Right. And so which is me, started coding. It took some time, about 7 months plus, to fully build the software because I didn't really have colleagues I was building with it. I was building it solo, like just me. I built it and I came back to discover that, because before I built it, I was making updates. I was trying to tell everybody who was part of that class that, see, we're building something good. I also saw a very prospective market. I mean, getting to join other web automation softwares. Came back, discovered that the team I had kept to manage this, one of them got rogue, started taking money from people, and he will head over to an SM panel, which is a social media panel, to buy them engagements that get their channel banned. The other one started putting his personal contact there, taking money from people, promising them to give them, the bots, which was still in process development then. So we're not even charging for the bot at that point in time. It was just me making an update because I had like a code base without a UI that I already use for simulations. So this has no graphic user interface. It's already a system that's been programmed. The graphic user interface is what you get on the new OKBots I did, which is where you could use it for a variety of reasons. You could create different workflows with drag and drop, dashboards and so many other things. But then it was strictly on my warmers, my summers. I had coded, the system was just there. So we started having what we call partnerships. So this is where if we're simulating traffic to ourselves, we also simulate to other people. And while I was away, it did not go well. Anyway, I wouldn't want this video to get to 20 minutes. I guess I would want this video to be on most platforms. And I think some are capped at 20 minutes. For the past 2025, I've been focused on learning everything that has to do with the tech company. But now I don't feel like doing what I was doing. The whole automation to the whole automation to beat Google AdSense and all that. I feel guilty doing it. I want to actually help businesses grow, and the advertisements they do using browsers to burn out their budgets and their advertisements plans, because even though you skip those ads, you get charged for it, right? So instead, I want to make OKBots a research software, something advertisement agencies could collaborate with to learn and get to understand how to protect themselves more from other people who will be doing browser simulation. Now, however, I still feel anyone using the software would still have access to run their simulations. How you intend to use it, it's up to you. But I feel as well, I need to state this. I've been completely off because I feel like I should be building something better, something more. Okay, I guess I would have to continue this some other day. Now work calls and I have to leave. Anyway, before leaving, I just clocked 1 year older today, and honestly, all I can say is sometimes feel so weak. Don't even know how to navigate anymore. I want to build software that creates real value. The sports betting thing is beautiful, but I want to be able to create real value, like real things that does and help real problems. Beating the algorithms, it's been nice. It's been a journey for some time. But I feel like I need to start being real valuable. And so I dedicate this new phase of my life to helping people, companies, businesses that are willing to make real value, make real value. While the sports betting prediction apps will be handled by a whole different CEO, as now I've learned how to be a chairman from the things I learned, not practiced it before, but on paper I've learned what it feels like to be a chairman. I would have somebody handle the real Naps brand, while someone else handles the OKBot brand. And I'll be focused for the rest of the time on trying to look for real things that can solve real problems. I still feel down most of the time. I'm still grateful for the things I've learned. It's been a roller coaster, like I said again. But right now, my only wish is to be as productive as I can and to solve real problems.